You've finished a 5-kilometer walk and come home. You feel incredibly energetic and healthy, but right now, 80% of your coronary artery might be blocked. Due to its physiological makeup, the body has a perfect adaptive mechanism capable of masking even a 90% blockage in a coronary artery. The heart continues to function until the artery becomes completely blocked and blood flow stops. Chest pain or shortness of breath are not symptoms of coronary artery blockage in most men. A cardiac event can occur suddenly without any warning. In this video, I'll explain why a healthy heart can suddenly fail, how the body hides these silent dangers, and what we need to do before a crisis strikes. Anatomy. When we look inside the chest cavity, we encounter a remarkable mechanism. The heart is the organ in the body that requires the most oxygen. It obtains this oxygen from a network of blood vessels called the coronary arteries, which surround the heart. We can think of this structure not as a pipe system, but rather like the root system of a tree. Now let's focus on the main trunk, the left anterior descending artery, or LAD for short. The role of this artery is to supply the left ventricle, the heart's main pumping chamber. If a blockage occurs here, blood flow doesn't just slow down, the heart stops immediately. Plaque formation. But here's the surprising part. How can this happen in someone who runs every day? A healthy artery is elastic. Its interior is as smooth as Teflon. As blood cells flow through the artery, they pass over the inner surface without friction. However, over the years, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, frequent smoking, or the mechanical stress from years of intense exercise can cause microscopic damage to the artery's inner lining. The body's response is to send LDL cholesterol to the site as a patch. This triggers the immune system. White blood cells arrive at the scene, engulf the cholesterol, and turn into waste cells. Over time, these waste cells harden. We call this hardened mixture of cholesterol, calcium, and cellular debris a plaque. This process is known in medicine as atherosclerosis, and the process we've described progresses entirely silently. Positive remodeling. A critical section. Most people imagine plaque buildup in an artery like this. There is a pipe. The pipe is getting clogged. It's gradually narrowing, and you feel the flow slowing down. This idea isn't actually illogical, but biologically speaking, we're mistaken. Here's the reality. As the plaque grows, the artery expands outward to maintain its lumen. This is called positive remodeling in medicine. You may have a massive plaque in your artery, yet blood flow could still be 80% to 90% normal. You'll feel great while walking or running 5 kilometers because blood flow continues. This is why sudden cardiac events are identified as the first and only warning sign in 50% of men and 64% of women. You have no pain. You're not tired. You feel fine until the moment you don't. Plaque rupture. What triggers it? Think of the plaque buildup in an artery like a bubble, an inflamed core underneath, covered by a thin membrane on top. During a sudden spike in blood pressure or excessive physical strain, that membrane tears. The body goes into panic mode. It perceives this as a wound and sends platelets. This is called a plaque rupture in medical terms. The process that should occur when you cut your finger happens instead when a heart artery tears, leading to clot formation. The resulting clot grows large enough to block the artery within minutes. It is the clot, not the plaque, that completely blocks blood flow in the artery. You can think of it like a cork in a bottle. This is called a type 1 myocardial infarction. Type 2. The athlete's paradox. I'm going to talk about a scenario that even experienced cardiologists find surprising. This scenario, which particularly targets endurance athletes, may be slowly taking its toll on you without your realizing it. Max is a 55-year-old disciplined runner. His cholesterol is at a normal level. He doesn't feel any chest pressure during races. He just feels strange during races. His energy drops. He experiences dizziness and mild nausea, and Max goes to the hospital thinking he's dehydrated. The results of the blood test he had at the hospital reveal elevated troponin levels. Troponin is a protein found in heart muscle cells. It's a specific protein that regulates heart contractions. When heart muscle cells rupture due to stress, troponin enters the bloodstream. What Max is currently experiencing is is a cardiac event caused by a 50% blockage. The reason is that a 50% narrowed artery isn't a major issue when the body is at rest. Enough blood flows through the artery, but when Max's heart rate reaches 170 during a run, his heart demands blood, like pressurized water flowing from a fire hose. But a narrowed artery can only allow blood to flow at the pressure of a garden hose. The supply and demand relationship kicks in, and demand exceeds supply. As a result, the muscle begins to suffocate. This is called ischemia in medicine. 70%. Artery blockage and soft plaque. You usually don't feel anything until an artery is 70% blocked. Below this threshold, the heart silently compensates by making sacrifices. Once it exceeds this threshold, you might feel a tightness in your chest while climbing stairs, but it goes away when you sit down. This is called stable angina in medicine. This is the body's warning sign. But here's the critical point. The vast majority of cardiac events occur in people with less than 50% blockage. Why? The culprit is what we call soft plaque, a hidden threat. This type of plaque forms from the buildup of fat, cholesterol, and inflammatory cells. This plaque, which hasn't calcified yet, has an unstable structure and can rupture at any moment to form a clot, significantly increasing the risk of a heart attack or stroke. It's not always the larger ones that are dangerous. The body's backup system. But we have some good news, and your heart truly deserves it. Our cardiovascular system contains a hidden backup network known as the collateral circulation. If a blockage persists for many years, the heart begins to build bypass routes to overcome the obstruction. This structure, known as the collateral circulation, ensures that oxygen-deprived tissues receive the necessary nourishment. This works like a bypass mechanism that reduces damage in situations such as a heart attack. This is why a 70-year-old has a higher chance of surviving a life-threatening event compared to a 40-year-old. The older person had time to build alternative pathways in their arteries, but when a young person's artery becomes blocked, there are no surrounding pathways to bypass it, increasing the risk of death. To accelerate this process, we can stimulate blood vessel growth through what we call Zone 2 cardio and HIIT workouts. These exercises help you build the network that could buy you time. Remember, in cardiology, time is the only currency that matters. Critical time. After a cardiac event begins, irreversible cellular damage starts by the 20th minute. By the 90th minute, heart tissue transforms into scar tissue. This tissue ceases to contract and pump blood. It is crucial to recognize the signals our body sends us. In men, chest pressure and discomfort in the arm are generally important signals. In women, however, these signals are much more subtle. If you experience shortness of breath, heartburn, or extreme fatigue, these could be important signals. Additionally, a signal that can occur in both men and women, an unexplained sense of anxiety and fear. Don't try to rationalize the situation by telling yourself there's nothing wrong. If you don't act the moment you feel these signals, it may be too late. Treatment. If the blockage in this artery needs to be repaired, the PCI method, which is most recommended by cardiologists, is performed. So what is this method? During the procedure, a thin tube called a catheter is inserted through the wrist under local anesthesia and guided to the site of the blockage. Once the narrowed area is reached, a balloon is inflated to widen the constricted section. After the area is widened, a cylindrical metal mesh called a stent is placed there. This metal is made of a special material, so it is rust-proof and unbreakable. This ensures the artery remains open, balancing blood flow, but our primary goal is to prevent the situation from reaching this point in the first place. Screening. The strategy we're discussing here follows the logic of finding the fire without burning down the house. The blood tests we perform at the hospital indicate standard circulation. They do not indicate whether plaque has adhered to the artery walls. For this, we need a test called the CAC score, or coronary artery calcium score. This is a screening test that takes a total of 5 minutes to detect calcified plaque. If the score is 0, there is no cause for concern, but if the score exceeds 400, the risk is high. You need to consult a cardiologist immediately. For the soft plaque condition we mentioned earlier, we need to undergo a scan using high-tech devices known as CT angiography or computed tomography angiography. This is currently the most advanced early warning system for detecting soft plaques. Monitoring cardiac health is always important. Check your blood pressure, manage your blood sugar, and stay active. Stop relying on guesswork for diagnosis, and don't shy away from using technology when it's already available. Don't just assume you're healthy, make sure you know you're healthy. If you've watched this far, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. See you in the next video. Stay healthy.